I'm revealing many of the injury claim tips and tricks that I learned in the past 19 years, as well as the mistakes to avoid while you're handling an accident claim. From the moment the accident occurs, it's crucial to start gathering evidence. The more information you have, the stronger your case will be. When we talk about gathering evidence, we need to think about vision, the ability to see. Vision is often considered the most important sense because it helps us gather more information than any other sense. About 30% of the brain is used to process what we see, which is much more than what it uses for hearing or touch. This means that you should take photos and video of the scene, your injuries, and any damages to both vehicles or any damaged property. Don't rely solely on police reports to do this for you. Sometimes it will take a long time to get the police report. I've had many cases where the police took a while to get a simple crash report. Don't expect the officer to take photos and videos of the accident scene, your injuries, or damage to the cars. They usually won't. And often, the insurance company won't share their photos and investigation with you. But you can still ask them for their photos, video, and statements of any drivers or witnesses that they took. As the saying goes, it doesn't hurt to ask. Think of it like building a puzzle. Every piece you collect helps create a clearer picture of what happened. Photos and videos are valuable because they provide a visual record of the scene and can be used to back up your version of events. Here's a pro tip. Take photos from multiple angles and distances. Include close-ups of damages and injuries, as well as side shots that show the entire scene. Many people make the mistake of only taking photos from way too close up. On the other hand, some people only take photos of damage from too far away. Both of these approaches are wrong. You should take photos from both far away and close up, and take photos of multiple angles. It's better to take too many photos and videos than too little. If you have pain, it's a good idea to get checked by a healthcare professional shortly after the accident. Some injuries like whiplash or internal damage might not show symptoms right away, but you could have long-term consequences. Insurance companies often downplay the severity of injuries if you delay getting medical help. By seeing a doctor immediately, you'll create a medical record that links your injuries directly to the accident. This makes it harder for insurance companies to argue that your injuries aren't severe or weren't caused by the accident. That said, if you're claiming pain in your neck, back, shoulder, or any other body part, get ready for a battle. The other person or company's insurance company will likely fight this. They often hire a doctor who will say that your pain should have gone away within days or maybe weeks of the accident. This is big business for these expert doctors. Some of them get paid over $1 million a year by insurance companies. Follow all medical advice and keep every appointment. However, if a doctor recommends surgery, you may want to get a second opinion from another doctor. This is because surgery is a big deal. If you don't follow the doctor's medical advice, the insurance company will use this against you. They'll say that you would have gotten better faster if you followed the doctor's advice. And they'll argue that they shouldn't have to pay for any complications that you now have from not following the doctor's advice. Take a photo of all bottles of all the medications that you have taken due to the accident. Keep a list of every time you drive to and from the doctor for medical treatment. You can make a claim to get paid back for those miles from the insurance company for the person who was at fault. Insurance adjusters are trained professionals whose main goal is to minimize the payout for the insurance company. They might seem friendly and helpful, but their job is to find ways to reduce the amount of money they have to pay you. Anything you say to an adjuster can be used against you. For example, let's say that you mention to them that you're feeling better. They might use this statement to argue that your injuries aren't as serious as you claim. The following is a big mistake that I made early in my career as an injury lawyer. I'd speak with the claims adjuster and think that the phone call went well, but then I'd notice I forgot to ask them an important question or two, which meant I'd have to call them back, but that takes time. And often when I called them back, they weren't available. I'd then have to wait for them to call me back. Sometimes I'd have to wait days. It's also important for you to write down questions before you call the adjuster. This is because many adjusters are fast talkers. Many adjusters are in a rush because they're overworked. In one case, my client was injured when a car crashed into him. I reported the claim to the owner of the car's insurance company. They assigned a bodily injury liability adjuster. One of the first things she told me is, I love looking at social media of people who make claims. I find gold in there. It was just days after the crash, and she told me that she'd already looked at my client's social media profile. I promise you this. She wasn't doing it to see if she could find stuff so that she could pay my client more money. The opposite was true. She was doing it to see if she could find dirt on my client. Even a seemingly innocent post about a family outing could be used to argue that your injuries aren't as serious as you claim. Insurance companies and defense lawyers often claim that you're not badly injured if you were able to go on vacation. They use that argument in order to try to pay you less. Adjust your privacy settings and avoid posting anything related to the accident, your injuries, or your case. If you sue, the defense lawyer for the insurance company can subpoena every text and email you send friends or family members. They will do this. The point of this next true story applies to car accidents and all accident cases. In one case, my client was on a motorcycle when he was in a crash with a car in Florida. He was injured. In addition, his helmet, motorcycle gloves, and boots were all damaged. We made a claim against the careless driver, but we had a problem, and it often happens in car accident cases. The other driver's auto insurance company will have a limit on how much of your damaged property they'll pay for. The other driver had a limited amount of property damage liability coverage. That's the other driver's insurance coverage that pays if they're careless and they damage your car or other property. That could be like a cell phone, a purse, laptop, anything like that. Basically, they didn't have enough property insurance to cover all my client's property that was damaged in the crash. So we needed to make a claim through my client's motorcycle insurance coverage. My client's insurance company for his motorcycle knew this was a big crash. Do you think that they asked him if he damaged his helmet, motorcycle boots, and gloves? Nope. You may be asking, why should they ask about his helmet, gloves, and boots? Because the coverage on my client's motorcycle insurance policy covered these for up to $500, and money adds up. I had to point this out to the insurance company to get him paid. The point of my story is to know what your insurance policy says. Do not, I repeat, do not expect the insurance adjuster to tell you all that you're entitled to. They often won't. If you're not willing to read your insurance policy, hire a lawyer. Keep a journal about your accident and the activities or vacations you've missed because of the accident. Write down things that you couldn't do or had difficulty doing. You may forget these later. You can use these to show how the accident has affected your life. Many people underestimate the total value of their claim. It's not just about the medical bills and vehicle repairs. It also includes lost wages, future medical expenses, and pain and suffering. If you don't understand the value of your claim, you'll likely settle for less than you deserve. Insurance companies know this and often make lowball offers to people who aren't fully aware of what they're entitled to. Please don't rely on online calculators for an estimate if you're injured. They are not accurate. You'll likely need to look at many jury verdicts from other cases in your same state to know how much your pain and suffering is worth, or hire a lawyer who already knows this. After an accident, it's tempting to accept the first settlement offer to quickly put everything behind you. However, this can be a costly mistake. Early settlement offers are often much lower than what your claim is actually worth. By settling too soon, you may miss out on substantial compensation for future medical expenses or long-term damages. To reveal this next claim trick, let's look at Maria's real case. This claim trick also applies to car accident claims and all types of accident claims, even though it was a slip and fall case. Maria is a loving wife and sweet lady. She slipped and fell at a hotel. After she fell, she had agonizing pain in her leg. Paramedics came to the hotel and rushed her to the hospital. X-rays revealed that she broke her leg and had a torn meniscus in her knee. Maria had surgery on her leg where a doctor drilled a plate and screws into her leg. Maria hired me and I worked on her case with another law firm. She also had surgery on her meniscus in her knee. During the lawsuit against the hotel, we asked the doctor if Maria would need a future knee replacement. Most people don't ask their doctor if they'll need future medical treatment, and as a result, they often get a much smaller settlement. There's a few reasons why many people or their lawyers don't ask if they'll need a future surgery. First, they don't realize that their case value can massively increase if a doctor says that you have post-traumatic arthritis or need future surgery. Post-traumatic arthritis is a type of arthritis that happens after an injury to a joint like your knee, ankle, wrist, shoulder, or hip. And frankly, some lawyers aren't willing to spend $500 or so to speak with the doctor about whether you'll need surgery. I spoke with Maria's doctor and it paid off in spades. This is because the doctor said Maria had post-traumatic arthritis and he said she'd need a knee replacement. We ultimately settled her case for $1.2 million. The moral of that story is to take the time to fully understand the extent of your injuries and damages before accepting any offers. And if you can't afford to pay your doctor $500 or more to write a report about your future treatment, hire a lawyer. They'll know the buzzwords that the report needs in order to meet the legal standard. That said, I've spoken to doctors in my clients' cases that weren't helpful at all, unfortunately. But you need to speak with your doctor to know what they'll say. Benjamin Franklin said, an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of the cure. He's saying that just a little bit of prevention is better than spending a lot of time to fix something. His quote also applies to speaking with your doctor before suing. It's better that you find out early what your doctor thinks about your future treatment than the following. You sue and find out that your doctor isn't helpful. Now let's talk about witnesses. They can provide a neutral perspective that can support your version of events, but sometimes witnesses won't be in your favor. Either way, it's helpful to get contact information from anyone who saw the accident. Crash reports usually list the names and address of the witness that the officer speaks with. However, they don't include the witness's phone number, and that stinks. This can make it harder to locate the witness if they don't live at the address on the crash report. You can use services like whitepages.com or hire a private investigator to track them down. I've used a private investigator to try to speak with witnesses in several cases. Witnesses can corroborate your story and help fight any false claims made by the other party or their insurance company. Their statements can be critical in proving fault and increasing your odds at getting a sizable settlement. A pro tip is to get a witness statement when their memory is still fresh. Don't wait too long. These tips and tricks are helpful, but the insurance company is going to fight you hard so they can pay you as little as possible. So how would I learn to handle injury claims if I could start over from day one? Simple. I'd watch the video that's on screen now, linked in the description below. And if you've been injured in Florida or on a cruise and you think that someone else is at fault, click the link in the description below to see if I could be the lawyer for you.